Big hello to everybody. I'm Sergio, and we are doing another story chat. What's happening? I hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday, and it's a start to a really great week, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Today, we're going to talk about events and networking. I'm going to give you a bunch of updates because this whole month, and then coming up in September, we have a bunch of events that are happening. And then the one major one I think that you guys have seen is Lightbox Expo. So the registration opened today, and people have been flooding that website to get registered for that event. It's really going to be something awesome. So welcome to everybody. A big shout out to all you guys. It's good to see familiar faces on here and familiar avatars, as that may be. If you don't know who I am, I'm Sergio, and I'm one of the guys at Storyboard Art and a founding member. I'm also a story artist and an animation director, and I've done a lot of storyboards over my career. And I've also gotten into the educational thing. I've become a mentor to people. I kind of did that. It's kind of a weird way that I got started. Inside the studios, I was mentored by other people. I was mentored by directors and supervisors coming up. And then when I had enough experience under my belt, I started mentoring other people. And that was really awesome. I love doing that. I love how people can grab onto storytelling once they get the principles down and they really shine. So we started doing that within the studio for guys that already had like the training and the basics and stuff. And then I decided, along with a friend, a partner, to start this website because we started to take this public. I didn't think anybody would actually be into storyboarding and storytelling. For what I was kind of naive with that. But I think we are filling a void in the marketplace for story-related material, narrative filmmaking, film language, and creating images using storyboards. And that's what we're doing. So we have a lot of story resources. And this year has been a crazy year, but it's coming out to, I think it's going to end strong. And I'm going to tell you why. There's a bunch of things that we're going to be doing to make sure that that happens and that you guys get the best knowledge and experience and networking that you can out of this year. So, okay, a couple of things. Let me start out with some shout outs. It's good to see everybody again. Big shout out. Oh, we got Anthony, who's our founding member of Storyboard Art. He's on there. We got Chad and JC, who are mentorship alums. Love seeing you guys on here. And well, anyway, and big shout out to you guys on Instagram. So we're beaming from YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And I want to take your questions, anything you got on your mind, story related. That's what we're here to do. And it's great because we do this as a group. I'm not the only person giving information and giving answers. There's a lot of people chiming in, pros and people just starting out. So it's really a nice mix. And it's all about collaboration, bringing ourselves together and coming up as a team, as a group, as a brotherhood of artists, so to say, and sisterhood, of course. So that is something that we want to make sure that it's always positive and moving in the right direction. Okay, let me get into a couple of event updates, and then we can get into the Q&A and start chatting story. So think of your story question as I give you some of these updates. So the first one, the big one, is Lightbox Expo 2020. The online event is now open, so registration is open. So go to lightboxexpo.com and go register. Now, when it first opened, I kind of figured this would happen. This is the first time it's been online. There must be, I think, tens of thousands of people, without exaggeration. That was the expectation that we're getting for this event. We're having a ton of people because it's all over the world. It's global. Can you imagine that this is an industry? The entertainment industry is now global. So we're people, it's not just in the United States and it's not just, Europe. Now there's, everybody's in the mix here. Asia, South America, everything, every part of the globe. Right, even my cat Richard, which is down there chanting, he's backing us up with that. So I think at one point I noticed the website was down. So give these guys a break. They've done something extraordinary here, which is to create this event that was an in-person event in Pasadena, and they're moving this online. So I think let's give them a benefit of the doubt. The website was back up. It only took a couple minutes for me at least to get it. I had better luck in Firefox, and maybe it's just because the way my Chrome browser was working at the time. But there are different registration tiers, and I think the lowest tier you can sign up for $1. Now, what we've heard from the the Lightbox Expo crew, because I should mention we are one of the contributing sponsors of the event. So Storyboard Art is a proud sponsor of Lightbox Expo, and we love doing that to network and meet other people. And we're also sponsoring a bunch of talks. I'll get into that in a second. But the registration tiers, the lowest one is $1. And I think they were doing that because they want to avoid spammy people, bots, all kinds of weird things that happen when you open up a thing for free. Okay. They have higher tiers where you get more gifts and you get more access. But I think the general access is at all the levels. So that should be something that even if you can only spend $1, I think that's really affordable for what we're doing. It's highly recommended you sign up because you're going to get access to an artist database. You're going to get access to the schedule, and then you're also going to be able to participate and share, just like we're doing here, with other artists that you wouldn't normally have the access to. That's the key. These are rock stars in the industry. These are people that you want to be learning from. And it's not just us. I mean, we love to put content out there, and we're sponsoring a bunch of good things that are happening that weekend. But I think it's just a good general idea to get involved and participate. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what Storyboard Art is doing. For this event, we are gearing up to do a drawing and portfolio challenge training. This is a free training that's going to happen in September. September 1st is when the registration is scheduled to open. And that is when we're going to actually have this training so you can register and participate. Let me adjust my camera here. And what's that all about? So that's a drawing and portfolio centric training. So we want to boost your story portfolio, and we also want to get your drawing skills up to speed. And all of this is going to be geared so you have a couple images, or even if you have a portfolio, you can revamp that for the Lightbox Expo. So it's going to start at least a week or a couple of days, I think, before the Lightbox Expo. So you get the first lessons, we get the participation going, we get a big, big push and excitement for that event. And then we're going to lead up into Lightbox, and that whole weekend is just going to be jam packed. I'm super excited because we got friends that are coming on to help us with some story chats, some ex-coworkers of mine, good buddies, animation directors, just rock star story artists. That lineup has always been scheduled on the Lightbox Expo event. So check out those things, and we'll also be publishing that as well. Okay, the next thing I should mention is those events. So September 11th through 13th. Hopefully you can free your schedule, and all of you guys out there will participate in this stuff because it is really, really important that we connect, especially in a year like this where we've got a pandemic going on and things might have slowed down or shut down. This is a way that we can connect with other people, and it's very easy. Hopefully you have solid internet access, and you can get other people to connect with you and share your work, and then boost your networking and your reach. Basically, this means you can get more jobs. You're going to have more connections to top level artists, like I mentioned, and even studios that might be recruiting at this time. Okay, so that's really, really good. If you guys are signed up to our newsletter, you'll know that Pixar was hiring. We mentioned that the other day. And so that's just one way that we do announcements when companies like that are looking for story artists. So you're looking for qualified people, you got to be up to par. And that's why you want to make sure your portfolio is up to snuff to be able to apply to a studio like that. And we'll talk about that portfolio stuff in a second. Okay, the next thing I want to mention is the Story Artist Mentorship. I've been hinting at this for a while now because registration is also coming up, timed with the Lightbox Expo. We're going to do an exclusive early bird pricing for that, and there's a bunch of goodies and bonuses that are going to be combined with that registration. So if you guys are serious and you want to participate with a group of like-minded story individuals, that's something that you really want to look into. It's a year-long program. It's our most intensive program, and it was a very successful beta run that we did on 2018. And this is even better. I have some surprises and some bonuses that are coming up. I don't want to mention everything because I'm not going to hog this talk with that stuff. But just know if you're into improving your storytelling, you're going to get some world-class mentors and a really amazing group of peers that are going to help you in that program. Okay. Next thing, I think, did I cover it all? Did I cover it? Let me see if am I missing anything? Maybe not. Okay. I think that's good for now. If you have any questions or I did miss something, come check out our website. We'll have the full schedule of events. Yeah, actually I did. There was one thing I wanted to say. So we are sponsoring talks and lectures, demos, and events that whole weekend. There'll at least be 3 a day in kind of a live stream format like this, and we're going to beam it out. It'll all be recorded, and you get free access to that as well. Okay, so check out what we're doing in conjunction with Lightbox Expo. Great. How about we get to some of these questions that I see are just blasting off in this chat here, and this is just too much awesome. All right, let's see. Yeah, great. People are excited about the expo. They're excited about the things that we're doing for storyboard art. So great. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, tons of amazing artists. Oh, this is okay. I guess, I don't know. Should I put this up? People are asking about how much this is a mentorship. So thanks, JC. JC is a mentorship alum, is awesome professional story guy. He's working on a horror film right now, doing some kick-ass boards. So congrats on that, my friend. So how much is the mentorship? Our monthly payments, will those be available as the first time around back in 2018? Yes. The pricing and all that will be on the registration page. There's different tiers, okay? The main tier is about $1,500. I don't have the exact pricing on my head because there's some discounts and things that we're giving. There's an early bird discount for sure. So if you sign up early, you get the best pricing. If you're on our waiting list, you can check that out on storyboardart.org. Go to the classes page, and you'll see a link for the mentorship waiting list there. And yes, we will have a monthly payment plan. So I know this year's been tough, man. I think, we've all been hit hard economically. Some people are really slow with work. And maybe if you're just starting out, because I remember back in the day when I was coming out of college and art school, I thought, there's some kind of boom, and all of a sudden it just crashed. This was back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm dating myself here. But there was like no work. I had to scrounge around. I was doing all kinds of stuff. Fortunately, I got a couple of small gigs. I was able to pay my rent and pay my bills at the time. So I know what it's like to be tight on the budget. And we really try and price our stuff affordably because, I'll just mention this. This I would put up against any university level story course, okay? We're designing this to be a pro level course where you get pro level assignments. We have real scripts. We have real story assignments that you can put in your portfolio. And the last time I checked, a unit at a major university cost $3,500 for an 8-week course. Okay, that's over $3,000 for measly 8 weeks. This is a year long. We're doing this for 12 months, okay? And you're gonna be mentored the whole way. So it's a real value if you're thinking about it for $1,500, okay? At any rate, we do have to pay the bills, and we also have an amazing guest instructor and guest mentor that's coming on this time around. So you're really getting an incredible value for 2020. Anyway, okay, thanks for that. If you guys have any other questions, hit us up personally, and we'll be sure to answer that stuff. I saw a bunch coming through Instagram, so let me get to those as well. So let me get to this one. Rob Schwarma, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thanks for the great message there. Appreciate the tips. You're saying, I have been working as an animator and 3D artist for more than 2 years. As I started my journey in animation industry, story was the only thing that drives me. I think give some advice if I'd like to transition from animation to story artist. So from animator to story artist, what do you want to do? Okay, that's a wonderful, excellent question. Let me mention a couple of things. Story and animation are very closely tied together. What you need to do as a performance artist, as an animator, and as an actor, right? Let's compare this to a live action actor like a Robert De Niro or Brad Pitt or any of these guys. They have to take a performance and create a storytelling moment within the scene, okay? A story artist will design that storytelling moment for the scene. They design the whole thing. They will come up with the ideas and the poses. So you still have to the training that you have as a storyteller to have good silhouette, good drawing skills, good posing, good timing. all of those things are very, very applicable to being a story artist. So I really say that, especially 2D animators. Now, 3D animators are great too. It's just 2D animators will have the drawing skills most of the time because they've been trained to draw a lot. And there's an easier transition from a 2D animator to a story artist. 3D animators also know about storytelling. They know about camera staging. They know all of those things. And I will mention a 3D animator is a great candidate for a previs artist, which is a kind of a subset of storyboarding, of storytelling. And previs uses 3D tools to storyboard out your sequences. You're just using 3D models and a 3D set and 3D cameras, okay? And we have a lot of examples of previs, and that's something that's getting more and more popular nowadays. So you can easily make the transition from 3D artist to storyteller. Now, what are you missing as an animator? I've seen this time and time again because I've actually trained a lot of animators to become story artists. And what happens, they have excellent technical skills. So computer skills, they're really good at, they might even have really good drawing skills. But when it comes to storytelling, what you have to do, you have to understand the film language and the camera. That is really, really important. Character staging is also really important. So the choreography of how your characters are in a scene, how they move around the scene, and how you move the camera along with those characters is what is really important. That's what I think is missing in an animator's training. And as soon as you get that other stuff, as soon as you start learning about film language and understanding the shot choices and why they're important and where to put the camera, when a close-up is important, when to pull out, why all of that is important, and you understand how to choreograph a scene so that the characters and the camera move around in really cool and interesting ways for the audience, as soon as you get that, you're going to be solid. You'll be a really rock-solid story artist. So the drawing training is the foundation. And then the technical skills can be learned. And then you go on top of that and you just got to practice and practice and practice. And then you become a story artist. So that's basically what you want to do. So maybe let me wrap this up with some advice of how to do that. One, draw all the time. I say that a lot, but I will repeat it. Draw all the time. Second, sign up to our drawing and portfolio challenge. There's a shameless plug, but really come to that and you'll understand what it takes and we can help you with your drawings there. The other one is watch films, watch movies, okay? Watch films all the time and try and get as much film language in your brain so you understand how movies and narrative content are constructed. So TV shows, films, anything narrative, episodic stuff, that's all really great things to study, okay? Yeah. All right. Let me go on to another question here. Dryden Art, let me answer your question here. So, hey, Sergio, can you recommend films that have informative audio commentaries on filmmaking? Yes, let me recommend a couple of the ones that I remember. Most of these that I found have been on DVDs. So the DVD extras that you used to get with your Blu-rays or with your regular DVDs, that's why I still buy that stuff, is because the extras on there are so awesome sometimes. Most of the movies from Ridley Scott are just a gold mine. He is so articulate when it comes to filmmaking and just what things he was thinking about, his process, his logic when it comes to storytelling. It's very much filmmaking and storytelling. It's not all about not always about technique. He does a lot of technique too. But so Alien, the first one, Prometheus, you can check that out, the DVD commentary on that. I think, The Martian, I think that one also had DVD commentary. So anything I think with Ridley Scott, I would recommend. He's such a prolific filmmaker. Then let me see, what are some of the other ones that were memorable for me? There's one that I really like, which is an independent film, which I don't think many people have seen, which is called Roger Dodger. And I like these independent films because they have to kind of run and gun and be kind of like guerrilla guys. And they tell you some nuggets that I think an up-and-coming filmmaker, like I think we all are, would like to know. So that one is, I think, by Dylan Thomas is a director, and he had some just really good. That film I think is excellent. I love that film. It's Scott Campbell's an actor in there, and Jesse Eisenberg, who's actually pretty well known. That's one of his first major roles as an actor, and so that film was really good. Roger Dodger, if you can get that on DVD. If you can watch any kind of documentaries as well. So I recently saw a documentary on Netflix with Brian De Palma, and to be honest, I didn't I've seen Brian De Palma's films, but he wasn't one of the filmmakers that I really, attached to. And I like the films. So he's done Scarface, he's done The Untouchables, he's done, he did Mission Impossible, the first one. And so he's really accomplished. And so I hadn't really dug into it, but just listening to him and his career journey as a filmmaker was excellent. Okay, so that one's on Netflix. Orson Welles is another good one. That's another documentary that's on Netflix. So there's a ton of stuff you can write. I would watch everything and anything you can get a hold on with audio commentaries or DVD commentaries. I watch films 2 and 3 times. I watch it once first, then I go back and listen to the audio commentary with the film on. So you got to watch the whole movie again. And there. So one that I think is probably not recommended. I recently got Blood Simple as a DVD, which is a Coen Brothers film. It's the first film that they made, and the DVD commentary was really lame. It wasn't them. They didn't do the DVD commentary. It was some other like critic who was trying to be funny, and I just was not into it. So anyway, there are better Coen Brothers films to watch when that in terms of films. All right, let me go on to some other questions here. Yeah, you got a lot of these questions are being answered already. I'll bring up these on screen. Yeah, so here, let me bring this one up from Facebook user. Okay. Will boot camp now till then be a good run-up? Okay, so I think we have a couple of, if you go to our website, we're referring to here some of the courses. We have the visual story course, which registration ended at the beginning of the month, but we also had the visual story bootcamp, which is in conjunction with that. And yeah, highly recommend that. That'll give you a nice solid foundation for what to do. There's some drawing training in there. There's scripts and creating animatics. That's all really good stuff. So that's a good foundation learning for everything that we want to be doing this year. Okay. And so the next part of that question is any film, books, visual info we can take in before then to be able to have the chats, have a common ground going in. So I think what you're referring to is like, what do you need as a foundation? I think you're talking about the mentorship, right? That's fine. But let's make this a little more global. What do you need as an artist to get into the business? I always say you need to have strong drawing skills, okay? Classical drawing skills, know your perspective, know your anatomy, know your composition and creating depth and your confidence of line. Now we're going to show you how to do that in our drawing and portfolio training coming up. That's free, by the way, that training that we're doing. Then the other thing, you need to know the film language and you need to know staging and camera. So that's the other component that is not often talked about in many courses. Like animation courses don't talk necessarily about film language because it's specific to constructing a film narrative. And lastly, I think what's really important too is story structure. You have to understand story structure. And this is more on the writing end. This is actually understanding your act structure, beginning, middle, and end, your climax, protagonist, your subplots, subtext, all of these things. If you don't know what those terms mean, what I'm talking about, you should dig into it. You should learn that. There's a lot more. It's very deep. And that you have to learn your story structure. It's really, and it's fun. All that stuff is great. I love reading about it because you're playing with your imagination. Those are all things that are really, really fun to me. So those are some tips, hopefully, that you can take to prepare to become a really good story artist. Okay. Oh, this is great. This is a good one from Jason Lowe, a really good suggestion. So this is a documentary called Lost in La Mancha. It's about Terry Gilliam's attempt at making Don Quixote, the film Don Quixote. So I think this is, as I got further in my career, I started doing more live action stuff and I started getting a little more responsibility. I become a director now. And you start seeing budgets and you start seeing how these things start evolving. And somebody said this, and I think it's really true. It is a miracle that any film project or any major thing really gets off the ground. It takes millions of dollars. It takes hundreds of people and the coordination to actually get these things going. And to think that they release a film and simultaneously they will have it in every single language and release it globally in the world. That is a miracle. It is a true miracle. Think about the logistics for a second, okay? And so this documentary is actually kind of a bittersweet story of how Terry Gilliam, who's an amazing director, I love his films, Brazil, The Fisher King, what else? There's a ton. I'm forgetting them right now. But anyway, look him up on IMDb. He's amazing, okay? And he was trying to make this film Don Quixote, and everything went wrong that could have gone wrong. And like the main actor got sick, there was a storm, and the sets got broken. Like everything happened, and then you really see the struggle that these guys went through to actually get this film made, and it never got made. Okay, I think Johnny Depp was cast at one point. There was all these big players in there, and it never happened. Millions of dollars were spent. It's a sad truth about the film industry. So this is why any project that we're involved in, we should appreciate being in this business, because it's wonderful being in the entertainment business, being an artist professionally and train, just working with your imagination is such a joy. And then you get to be a part of a project that actually gets seen, gets to the light of day, and it gets distributed widely. That's great. I mean, I really do appreciate all the projects that I've been under, and it's just seeing the hard work that everybody goes through. It's really, really, really cool. Okay, must say that. Let me pull up. Yeah, this is another good comment. So always a risk, but so worth it when it gets all completed. Yeah, thanks, Anthony. Good to see you, buddy, by the way. So it's true. It's so hard to get something done, but worth it. It is really worth it, because you really put love into the stuff that we're working on, and that is something really, really it's worth pursuing. Think about any artist that you admire, and somebody that's maybe in a museum or a filmmaker that you really like, or maybe an animator or a visual artist that you like. The work that they've done when nobody else was asking for it, and they really put their heart and soul into it. And if you remember, that means it's something really cool. So that's what we do. We are inspired by that. And guess what? You get paid for doing this. You get paid for playing with your imagination. How awesome is that? So that's what I really that I really like. So let me bring this question up from Instagram here. So Art and Storyboard is asking, by the way, thank you for your amazing comment there. It seems like you're appreciating the content that we're giving here. So you're asked, could you talk a little about how you transition from story artist into directing? Yeah, actually, let me just mention that really quickly. Now, there are many paths to becoming a director. The biggest thing that you need to understand to become a director is you have to understand storytelling. You have to understand story structure. It's not just about telling other people what to do. That has really less to do with it than your understanding of how to construct the full project. Okay. So as a story artist, I say this a lot, you are a mini director of your scene. You should be able to take responsibility of your scene and imagine it from the beginning to the end, imagining all of the action, the acting, the cameras, how the cutting and the pacing are going, especially if you're doing animatics nowadays. You become a mini director of your scene. If you can handle that as a story artist, the next logical step is to do a full sequence and maybe an act, which is longer minutes. So a scene might be 1 minute. Then you might construct 2 and 3 of those together. And you might have 3 and 4 minutes, right? That might be a whole act break. Then after a while, guess what? You start doing, a short film, or you might even do a whole episode on an episodic series, which is 20 minutes, right? 21 minutes for the stuff that we're doing at Lucasfilm. And then after a while, you start understanding those longer formats, the story arcs, all of those things. And this is from a story artist's perspective. The next logical step there is understanding the process of how that all goes under play and how that all comes together. And then guess what? You just naturally become a director because you understand the story, you understand the process, and you understand the people you need in order to fulfill the vision for the project. Because you can't do it all yourself. That's why, as a director, you guide other artists in a very hopefully a clear vision of what you want. So that transition to becoming a story artist is having a command of the storytelling skills so that you can completely on your own without other input. There's always help, right? There's always people to guide you and maybe give you suggestions there, even if you're way at the top. Let's hope that you have some trusted people that can give you honest feedback about what you're doing. But if you can handle it and you feel confident about the scenes that you're doing, the next logical step is to take on more responsibility and to guide other artists to do that. So I've been at this for more than 20 years now, and I've gone through the ropes. Like, I've been there in the trenches and the struggles and the mistakes and the things that I've made over and over again in my career. And then you learn from that and you improve on it. And yes, I got the opportunity to direct things. And most recently I was working on with some trusted friends on developing a feature project. And that was a great experience. That's still hopefully in the works. So those are all things that really excite me. And then you understand the story arc, because to me, that's the most important thing. You can have great acting, you can have amazing visual effects, but if your story blows, you're not going to have a good movie. I'm sorry. You just have a visual effects bonanza, but you're not going to have a cool story that's really going to attach people. So the story part is really, really good. There are many paths of directing. You can do it as an animator. You might build yourself up and you understand how, as an animator, how to, understand things. You can do it as a visual effects artist. You understand the film industry, and then you move on into becoming a director that way. But the end result is that you have a command of the visual language and of storytelling, because I just don't see how you can direct without that. The only way you can do that is if you lean on other guys like your story team. If you're just like a director that is hands off and doesn't understand the story process, you better have a damn good story team. Call us, right? All the guys that are on here, and we're going to come together and we're going to solve your story problems, because you're going to have a weak film if you don't understand the concept of that. So that's what you have to do as a story director. So that's why I say, as a story artist, you are a mini director. And then the next leap is, years and years of working at it, you can understand the bigger picture and that process. It's not easy. I don't think it'll ever be easy doing this stuff, but you will have more confidence and you can solve these problems in a way. And again, remember, this is all about fun and creating something cool. So that's what you want to that's what you want to be doing. Great questions. All right, let me see if there's any more going on, but this might be a good place to end it. Yeah, there's some really good conversations going on in Facebook and even in YouTube. So thank you guys for doing that and participating in this stuff. So hopefully this is a little bit helpful. I'll just end this chat here with a reminder to sign up for Lightbox and check out our updates for Storyboard Art. We're going to sponsor a lot of free training, free talks, demos, and just general industry chats that I think you guys will get a lot out of. If you can't make every single one of them, don't worry. We always record the stuff that we do, and we'll post it on our social media, and hopefully you can see it afterwards. Okay. I look forward to seeing all you guys there. So by all means, go ahead and sign up, and we'll see you. If you have any questions about the stuff that we talk about here or anything else, just hit us up directly on our website. I see some of that, and I also have like a community team that helps field any of those questions. So we're here to help, and that's what we love doing. All right, friends, great to chat with you guys, and we'll see you on the next one, which is coming up on Wednesday. We're going to do another of these story chats. All right, take care, keep drawing, keep up the good work, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye-bye.